Hey,
What's going on?
what's going on with me? I'm going to be talking to you for a little bit. How's it going with the music and all that stuff in Australia?
Yeah, cool. No, it's all going well. I got an album coming out on self-titled album, Andrew Farriss. Comes out on March 19th, and yeah, no, it's all looking good. I'm just really pleased to be able to get back out on tour here in Australia because a lot of our restrictions and lockdowns and things have eased here. So I'm excited about that too.
So, how long has it been in lockdown in Australia? Is it like in the United States of America and
Well,
Canada?
yeah, well, all the craziness started here back in really late February, March, of last year, and it went on and on and on. It was still going on late last year, but it's starting to ease now because basically the system checks in place here, they worked, you know. So yeah.
Well, that's good. And I see you do have tour dates in April. That's awesome.
Yeah, April and May. Actually, I'll be playing most states in Australia. Yeah, I'll be heading out, and I'm excited about it. I got a great band, and I'm into my country music that I'm doing right now, and yeah, I'm right into it, and off we go. I got a single out too called "Run Baby Run," which I released about a week ago. So yeah.
And you got a promo video for Run Baby Run, which looks very good, and it's like even widescreen, like a movie.
Yeah, someone else said that. It's like a little movie. Well, actually, all my videos I've been making, which are on my YouTube channel, that kind of have that theme, like a kind of old west sort of theme in them. And if you run them all together, it kind of looks like a little movie. That's right. But I thought that'd be entertaining for people to watch that. And it's a little different than what everyone else is doing. So.
How long did it take you to make the video?
Well, it took. Trying to think now. It was one day we had to shoot because I had to borrow a steam train with carriages, which is not easy to do.
Of course.
And the people, can I borrow your train? But but they were, the museum people were kind enough to let me use the train. And what I wanted to do was run along the carriages on the rooftops, like from Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, but they wouldn't let me do that. Don't know why, But, so I did other things in the video, but I was happy with it, seriously. And it took about a day to shoot video.
Well, it made a good product, and the quality's there. The sound quality is obviously there. Making this album. How long did it take you to start and to finish this great album?
Oh, thanks. Well, basically, I started. Well, I've always been a songwriter. Andrew Farriss has always been a songwriter. That's the main thing I've done with my career. But I think where it kind of started was, as a songwriter, some of the songs I wrote like ridiculous amount of years ago, like 30 years ago or more or something. And then some of the songs I wrote just recently that are on my album. But how it sort of came together in the end was that I wanted to upgrade the quality of my demos, of the songs I was writing, and I knew I had some good songs. They just weren't good recordings, really. And so I started retracking them, started re-recording them, and the closest singer around was me. So I started singing my songs, and I thought, well, I'll find someone else later on who's a good singer, and they can sing them, And then I realized, as I went along, especially the engineers I was working with in Nashville, the recording engineers, they're like, hey, man, what's wrong with your voice? We like your voice. Just keep doing it. And I really? And they said, yeah, just keep singing. It sounds good. And that's how I ended up doing it.
And also, it's marked in your little press that you have over 200 songs that are like unreleased, and some of them made it this album. What do you do with 200 songs? Is he just leave them sitting?
Yeah, well, exactly. I've always done that my whole career. I've always, like shelved certain ideas because they just don't feel right at the time, to put them out. And yeah, I've always got ideas, and then sometimes I'll pull them out if they suit. Like, cause I wanted to make not a concept album, but I wanted to make an album where there is a sort of lyrical connection between a lot of the songs. Like a lot of the songs on my album are sort of around frontier, the ideas of frontiers. And I don't just mean the Old West. I mean, like, freedom, kind of thing. The idea that, in the 21st century where we are now, the frontiers are more kind of technical and electronics and,
Right.
technology driven, whereas in the old days, frontiers were more physical boundaries. And I find that really interesting that as we go into the 21st century, that, we're just sort of obsessed with technology, but, I mean, we've only got one Earth, right?
Right.
Right.
What's your go-to instrument, to make this album? Is it like you write songs on keyboards, guitars? How do you get, your vibes going to write stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've worked in all different ways over the years. Some of the ways I've worked have been by starting off with a lyric. Sometimes I work from a melody. Sometimes I work with grooves and beats. Especially in the old days, I used to work a lot on grooves and beats and sort of working on those kind of things first. I used to make sure that, especially that, the music I was writing had something you could lean into or dance to or something that was, was good. I'm very conscious of things like tempos and songs and all that kind of thing. But also, I work sometimes with just a guitar or piano, old school sort of instruments. And plus, I used to work a lot with synthesizers as well, and a lot of older sort of, become hip again is work with a lot of those sort of technologies. I used to work a lot with that stuff. But these days, I'm working more just with pianos and guitars.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I seen on your YouTube channel, which is incredible, is like you made a live concert. Love Makes the World EP. You broadcasted the EP basically live. Was it like lots of work to get everybody on set to do this?
Yeah, well, that that was a great moment. And there's another 9 tracks that are going to come out later on from that same session that we did. That's basically my live band, pretty much, that I'm taking out on tour. And I'm really excited to have those guys playing with me. They're fantastic musicians, and we just got it together. And we did, like, say, sometimes we do, we'd run through some of the stuff at rehearsal first, and then we'd do the takes. And but I was pretty happy with it in the end. And we're working on the post-production part of the second lot of songs, which is 9 songs that are more related to my LP release, which comes out on March 19th around the world. And we're working on that at the moment. And I'm excited about that too. And we've been working on the post-production part of the filming of it is what we're working on, making sure that it looks as good as possible.
Andrew, compared to the days, INXS and stuff, now you're doing your own stuff. Is there still a type of passion and excitement when you do release a new product, like a single or something like that? How do you look at it nowadays?
Yeah, I'm excited. The way I look at it is that, I feel really fortunate to be sharing my music with everyone and to be able to head back out on tour when so much of the music industry has been affected. People around the world have been affected by this awful pandemic thing. And I feel really fortunate, lucky to be able to get out there and share my music and play live. I'm really excited about it.
Do you find that virtual is going to start hitting harder and people are going to do music more online than, actually in the studio?
I think there'll be a bit of both. I think some people are more comfortable doing things virtual and with technology than they are with old school sort of live performance. But I guess I do come from an old school background, and so I don't mind doing both. I don't mind using technology when I need to, and I don't mind old school. They're both good. They're just a bit different. So,
both ways still work, and let's hope, just there's still music coming out, for the future to come.
Exactly. I know. I think that lies with with younger generation of people where, you know, if they play old school instruments, then that's what they'll feel like doing. If they push buttons on a laptop, then that's what they'll end up doing, you know.
And it's like that. Everything goes
Pretty
back
much.
to basics. Like, you know, you return back to 30 years ago. People discover the past and they want to become a fan of certain bands, you know. So you never know. The old school music will always live.
That's right. I think so too. And you know, the thing is with music is that it doesn't really matter so much how the music was made in the first place. What matters is that it's good. If good music's always going to be good music, and good songs are always going to be good songs. You know, it's just where it is.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and promoting your new album. It's gonna do pretty good. I'm sure of it.
Ah, cool. I appreciate that. And how's your day going? It's evening there, isn't it?
Right now it's 5:30, 5:48. So you know it's we still got light outside, so it's not bad.
Yeah, good. And how are you guys doing with the pandemic COVID thing? You okay?
In Nova Scotia, we're pretty good. There's other parts in Canada that is not as good. You know, lockdowns are still taking place from what I see. But in the United States, it seems that they're freeing stuff now that people can start going out. We'll see. There's still no bands, you know, playing at venues right now in these parts.
Yeah. Well, I hope that changes soon for all you guys, and God bless you. Take care. You know.
Yeah, well, you have a good one, Andrew, and really appreciate you taking the time.
No worries, Jason. Thank you for talking to me.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.